Is there a correlation between the rise in home prices and the normalization of the two-income household? Hey guys, it's Mortgage Mel, and it's time for today's Mortgage Minute, and we're going to look into whether the rise in home prices has any correlation with this. The quick answer is yes, there's actually a strong correlation. And in many ways, the normalization of the two-income household fueled home price increases. But the relationship isn't one directional, it's a feedback loop. Let's take a deeper dive into where it started. In the US, specifically in the 1970s and onwards, there were more women entering the workforce. This meant a higher percentage of households had two-income earners. And with both of those incomes, families could then qualify for higher mortgages. As a result, bigger, better, more expensive houses started to become more popular. On the simplest level, the increased demand pushed prices up. But both sellers and buyers noticed that people could afford more with those two incomes. And lenders like myself adapted the mortgage products to allow for the two-income households and for products that would help people get a larger mortgage. And then over time, the entry-level expectation that first-time homebuyers had increased. Prices and norms reinforced each other. As home prices rose, it became more and more difficult for a single earner to afford a home. And that in turn made two incomes feel more like a requirement rather than an option. And eventually that became the norm, not the exception. Now, while the two-income trend was a major factor, there are actually other factors that we need to take a look at. So let's take a quick peek at those. Don't roll your eyes. Lower interest rates in certain decades made larger mortgages more affordable. And now is actually one of those times. Back in the 1980s, we had interest rates as high as 18.5%. That made a larger mortgage less affordable. Right now, we're at about 6.75. That makes a larger mortgage more affordable. We also are seeing some of the influence of inflation on the costs of labor, materials, and land, and that pushes prices higher. We've also experienced a cultural shift where the expectation is to have a larger home and a larger footprint in general. Here's a chart that shows the correlation between the two. And what's interesting is we have data for the two-income households only through about 2015, but you can see the home prices past there all the way to 2024. But in addition to that, I think you can also see where the 2008 housing crash was, where it dips way down. And then, of course, in 2020, where we ended up with increase in housing prices due to increased demand when people were moving around during COVID. I hope this information helps. If it does, give me a like and a follow, and I hope you have a great day.